What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehardyconstruction.com,
Autopsy Jane,
as well as
Dale.
from Harbor. Holy mackerel, you're making it horrible for me. Harbor.tumblr.com. Today's film is
The Autopsy of Jane Doe, 2016. Why not John Doe?
Because fuck John.
Okay.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe, 2016, directed by... Where's this guy?
Directed by I don't do this part. This
Andre Overdahl.
Overdahl. Written by...
How do you say that with that little
I don't know.
thing going through the
know.
umlaut or whatever?
Emil Hirsch also had a problem with that. Directed by Andre Overdahl, who also did Troll Hunter. Written by Ian B. Goldberg and Richard Nang, starring Emil Hirsch, Brian Cox. No offense, of course. Ophelia Lovely-Bond. So, this film is about a father and son, both coroners, are pulled into a complex mystery while attempting to identify the body of a young woman who is apparently harboring dark secrets. You know, it's great. I was about to finish that sentence, and then Danny just trampled it.
Why finish it?
So
exactly.
So why did I pick this film?
You're a jerk.
You gotta tell us.
I thought I would be the nice guy in this case. But The Autopsy of Jane Doe, I'm trying to remember why the fuck I did pick it. Oh, okay, so I'd seen this poster for a couple of times. There's a website that every time I Google a horror movie VOD release date, I kept seeing this poster, and I was like, oh, this is another fucking movie about somebody raping a dead body and shit, because it seems to me that there's so many...
Dead Girl?
Yeah, right, no, but
Which
Dead Girl...
I will never watch again.
There's also Aftermath, which is
That was your favorite movie.
Fucking hate that movie so much.
Aftermath, I don't even remember if we yelled about it in that episode, but also Aftermath is this film... I think it's the first Dead Girl movie that I've seen, like a woman where a corpse of a woman is in the film, and they're just like, it's the focus of the film. And Aftermath is this Spanish short film, and it's shot really well, and people saying, oh, this movie's great, this movie's great.
Oh, is that that's the one with the, no, that's Aftershock, never mind.
Yeah, very good. Good contribution.
Just like Dream Home and Dream House.
That film,
hey, you know what? They have similar names.
That film is also like 10 minutes. Aftermath is, and it's 7 minutes of it is the guy fucking the corpse, and I was like,
what
is
about
this just to shock
Happily Ever
people?
After?
What's that about?
Daniel has title dyslexia.
So there's also... I'm going to strangle you. There's also obviously we said Dead Girl. There's also a movie called The Corpse of Anna Fritz, which is a Spanish movie that just came out about a woman that's a corpse, and the guys are trying to figure out what happened, and they also fuck the corpse.
What's the deal with all these corpses?
Let's fuck them, I guess.
You know one joke I didn't say last time, that when we did the episode for Sunchoke, because just for a primer for anybody, Jerry Seinfeld used to date a 17-year-old girl, so I'd be like, why do they call it statutory rape? There's no statues around here. All right. So this is a film I was actually surprised that there was no raping of a dead body in it, which was good. So
What a relief.
I had heard about this film, and I looked at the poster, and I was like, oh, this shit looks boring. But then I saw it had Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox in it. Brian Cox I like as an actor. I can't really say I've seen anything Emil Hirsch has been in, although Emil Hirsch has been in a lot of things. Yeah, Emil Hirsch has been in...
he was in Into the Wild, which I never saw, and Milk, which I never saw.
Speed Racer.
What else did you never see?
He's the kid in The Girl Next Door, apparently, which I did see, sadly enough.
Okay.
The Girl Next
Door.
Door.
You know what? If Thea didn't see some movies with him in it, then I'm going to say he's a winner.
So
that's right.
What the fuck? So Emil Hirsch, I could swear Emil Hirsch was like 30 years old, but he looks like a kid in this film too. He's just always looked like that. And Brian Cox, obviously, Brian Cox has been in a lot of stuff. He was
so many things.
He was the first Hannibal Lecter. He was in the movie Manhunter, which was the original version of Hannibal Lecter. And he doesn't have the cadence that Anthony Hopkins has, although people, I guess snobs are like, oh, he's much better than Anthony Hopkins, but I'm like, okay, whatever.
No, Anthony Hopkins is the best.
But Brian Cox is a fucking great actor. You could just see from this
I like Mads Mikkelsen.
Of course, me too.
Fine. Have it your way.
I love The Murder Husbands. So this film I picked because I had kept hearing good things about it, and I was like, what? No way. But then I saw those two actors. I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And then I saw it, and I was like, damn, this is pretty fun for what it was. I was watching it.
See, I don't know about you,
Danny.
but I
really
am amazed by this amazing story of how Alex came to watch this movie.
This is the Alex podcast, right? Oh, no.
Funnily Oddly enough, I had no idea either of those two actors were in this movie. The only thing I had heard were that other people had watched it and they had liked it. And I was like, okay, maybe it'll be good.
But to know that Alex went through this whole adventure and quest.
I like hearing his breakdown of how his brain works.
This show's about me. I'm important. Fuck you. So Thea, what is this movie about, Thea?
This movie is about, well, it opens on a crime scene, and it seems to be the house of this elderly couple who have been brutally murdered.
Brutal.
And in their basement is a half dug up corpse of a naked young woman who looks pale and ethereal and untouched by time's whatevers.
Cold caress.
That's right.
Harsh caress.
Played by Olwen Catherine Kelly. I guess she has a real subtle acting technique in this film. Yeah, she's this bluish corpse, and what the fuck? That was the worst joke, and that's laugh. All right, whatever.
That's pretty funny, actually.
So
it was worth a chuckle.
These people are the cops are very confused because they see this murder scene. They think it's a B&E upstairs, which is a breaking and entering, Danny, and they decide.
No, I got it.
They want to figure out. You sure do. They're trying to figure out what happened to this girl's body because she seems to be rather unscathed as opposed to everybody else who's gotten like shot and stabbed upstairs.
Super scathed.
She was.
You know what? If I ever met this girl on the street, I would be scared of her now because of this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're scared of any woman. Anybody who doesn't have a penis.
How dare?
How dare what?
I don't know.
Okay,
Bruce Bolton was in this. That was cool.
So, yeah.
Who was he? Oh, was that the sheriff?
The guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
Wait, he had an American accent, though.
So and he's in it for like 5 minutes, but
when he's not stabbing people and giving birth to horrifying bastards, he is a sheriff.
So Emile Hirsch and Brian Cox are playing the Tilden family. He's playing. Emile is playing Austin Tilden, the son of Tommy Tilden. Tommy Tilden is the head of this coroner facilities. I guess it's a small town that they're in. That they're not only just morgue guys, they do the work for the small town police, and they get this corpse, and this is when goofiness happens. And how would you explain Austin's relationship?
Could you say goofiness ensues?
I can say this: Danny's a fuckface. So Thea, can you explain Austin's relationship with his Tommy, with his father Tommy, and his Tommy and his father Tommy? What is his relationship with his dad working for him as this assistant coroner, and what is it about?
Well, it's very obvious from the get that he has a lot of respect and a lot of love for his dad. He's very close with him. They work together. They live together.
Sexual tension is off the charts.
Just off the charts. And he wants to be like him, but at the same time doesn't want that to be his life, which he makes sort of clear-ish with his conversation with his girlfriend. He's hoping to move away and go to school, but he hasn't told his father yet because he thinks it might break his father's heart. It is clear that something has happened to their mother before. She's probably passed away in the previous years.
She's probably just being lazy.
He's never really
gotten
over it. In the she says it's 2 years since it happened.
Apparently, we find out later on that his mother had committed suicide, or that's what Brian Cox has been saying in interviews for the film. So I think Austin is trying to do this as nicely as possible, as to not be a part of this Tilden family coroner business. And it's just his father, so it's not like there's anybody else. I think he would have to, obviously get another...
I want to throw it out there because it's right at the beginning of the film. It's right after like the first crime scene, sort of. They establish the whole setting of the morgue, which is like this really cool underground building. It's like I don't even know what era you would say it was.
It's 3 generations, so.
But it's beautiful. It's a perfect setting, and I like that they sort of show you the whole makeup of the building before they put you in it for the whole movie.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's a really good use of space, because when I heard about it, it was like they say it's a smaller film and it's just dealing with 2 very good actors, because the film is essentially these 2 main characters, and I think they did really well on setting it up, and the film never feels stupid. It never feels like...
Yeah, it's like a genuinely creepy film.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like... Sometimes I feel like when it's a smaller, more minimalist film, like it's a 2-hander or it's a one-setting film... It doesn't feel like they forced it into this one place because they could only afford to shoot in this one place.
Right.
It feels like more like they found this place and they were like, I really want the whole movie to sort of be in this setting, in this sort of cramped quarters, old school place.
And this, the script for this film was actually on the Blacklist, and the Blacklist is this collection of really highly touted scripts that producers love.
Oh, that's how it got discovered?
Essentially, yeah, because a lot of producers... Blacklist is this thing you can look up where a lot of producers put these scripts on the list because they believe these are the best written scripts that are available but haven't been produced as films.
Or things that might never get made, right?
Right. And I think the film itself is clearly in good hands, shows that a really good film was made from it. I was glad I actually saw this film because I was trying to find...
I wasn't expecting to. It was really good.
I was looking, and I think I'm trying to figure out the strength of the film. Does it lean into the directing, the writing, or the acting? What do you think is the strongest element?
I think it's all.
Definitely the acting, though. The directing too, because it doesn't do any cheesy fucking. There is one or two parts that are annoying, but like, it's actually like as far as jump scary type of shit. But for the most part, it's like pretty straightforward and good.
Well,
I think it's one of those movies where all of the elements are effective in different ways, which is. I feel like it's hard to... we don't see that a lot in horror movies, where every element is effective. Like, usually it's one thing, like the acting's really well done, or the writing is really well done, but the acting's just okay, or the directing is so beautiful that you just keep watching. But I feel like this one's effective on everything.
And this is the same director who did Troll Hunter, a film that I actually liked despite it being handheld. I'm sorry,
I really
found
love that
footage.
movie.
Yeah, that movie's great.
That film has gotten like a really huge cult following for it. I understand. I got depressed that on Netflix there's a series by Guillermo del Toro called Troll Hunter, but it's like a completely different thing about like a cartoon or something like that. But this guy really is. For some reason, this guy reminds me of how Gore Verbinski works. He's like a European director. Gore Verbinski, if anybody remembers, he did The Ring, the first one. I don't know if he did the second one.
What, the remake, you mean?
Yeah.
Here's
the
question.
The English remake, yeah.
Do you think that the kid Austin, after his girlfriend dies...
Here's the joke. Okay.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Do you think that he will go and find Claire from 6 Feet Under, and they'll be like a power couple?
Could be.
If he's able to float through walls as a ghost, maybe. I guess so.
He drives a green hearse.
Didn't David speak to the... No, that was Nate that spoke to the dad.
Yeah, you just had to encourage him. So what kind of feeling does this movie convey, Danny? What do you feel when you watch this movie? Or what do you think the director was trying to get across?
I mean, besides complete, lust and sexuality coming off of that dad, I have to say it's very creepy. Yeah, no, it's very creepy and like kind of like, oh god.
It's very. It seems like it's a very matter of fact type of film. Like the way that they actually deal with the autopsies at the beginning of the film, like the burning, when they try to assess the dead guy at the beginning, the burnt corpse, and he just has that one eye staring out. It's like unsettling, even though it's like a prop or something. It's still a really unsettling film, and the way that this film almost makes you normalize death in a way. Watching this film, I was like, I wonder how it is like being a coroner and you've seen so many dead bodies that are you used to I guess you would be used to death, but like how would you
they're
view
definitely
death?
Desensitized to it.
Well, they said that scene is just to set up their relationship and B, sort of what their everyday is. That's why they're playing like music in the background, and it's just sort of the flow of their work day to sort of prepare you for what it like usually is for them, and then it upsets that normality, basically, right?
Yeah, so Austin is dating a girl named Emma Ophelia Lovibond. I think Danny's type, right? Is that your type of girl?
She is very cute.
Yes, I think what they're trying to do is move out of town. That's essentially what, they want to make a new life
all these people
elsewhere.
are from England.
And that's a subplot. Yeah, Emile Hirsch is from England. So is Brian Cox.
All of them. They're from Scotland.
I'm lying about Emile Hirsch.
No, he's from California.
Yeah.
So,
why don't you shut up?
Thea, what are things that kind of stuck out to you that made this elevated type of horror film?
I think, the establishing of their relationship was important, and I feel like it was sparing. Like they don't spend a lot of time prepping you for the whole scene, but what they do is effective. It's hard to explain it properly, but...
No, Thea, you're so dumb. Go on.
I know I'm dumb. But I think what I liked best about this movie is that they don't spend a lot of time making the characters like struggle and grapple with the fact that all this weird shit is happening and them not accepting it. They sort of accept it very quickly, which was refreshing.
Yeah,
and as opposed to a lot of movies where they spend too much time and the characters are like, "Oh, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's what's happening."
It was almost the blood coming out of the fridge in that scene.
She's a fucking ghost from the future. She's a witch, Danny.
Yeah.
What do you think?
She does some
Is
shit.
she from the
paranormal
future?
Shit?
She's from the past.
I also liked how direct they dealt with it, because like for a little second it was sort of denial, like when Austin is walking around and he sees
just for a moment, yeah,
he's seeing a silhouette of a person there. Like I would have been like, holy shit, and ran like right there.
Well, he's so used to like dead bodies and shit.
Yeah, like you're probably like jumping at shadows a little bit.
But he saw a fully formed person
like when you were preparing
of darkness.
It, right?
But at least
I did like that. So is this what this body does? It just goes in different places.
Well, we'll get to that. But I did like the fact that when they did feel something weird was going on, they decided, let's get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah,
that was like
they react quickly.
They react like
because they know that's
people.
not normal. They know that like they work with dead bodies.
Wait, what do you mean?
Day.
When there's a storm, all the lights and blood explode simultaneously, and bodies walk around?
What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying, isn't that normal?
Man, that happens to you all the time, right?
That's just another day.
That's your everyday.
Danny, you should be called Home Run Danny, because today you've been just hitting home runs left and right.
You know what? The bases are loaded. Just give me a chance.
It was weird because in the film when Brian Cox's character is Tommy is I was very weirded out because I thought, is she a vampire or something? Because they really wanted to stress.
What I thought for a while.
They wanted to stress that scene where he cuts his arm on her rib as he's cutting into her.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he gonna become a mutant later on? Which he does, but
like
it's for a different
like
reason.
I thought it was gonna be like blood that like revives her or something.
Well, maybe though that cut with her blood going into his is why he got chosen.
Did you guys like the the revelation that it was a girl who was essentially killed for being or thought to be a witch? Or
it kind of reminded me of We're Alive, actually. Like
the
that
guy
that
We're Alive. Okay.
Yeah. What I don't want to spoil it, but you know what we find out about one of the bad guy.
It's great. Right. It's great that you brought that up. That you can't spoil it, but go ahead.
Well, I can't spoil it. I can't.
That's great.
But
listen to that podcast.
Listen to We're Alive.
It's a good podcast.
You'll think about hit that random scene that Danny didn't explain, and you'll be like, oh, that's what Danny was talking about.
Oh.
So anyway,
I get it now.
In a nutshell, I guess this is what because there was another thing that I heard later on, but I love being a jerk off to Danny. It's great. Oh, but what happens is we find out that the woman, the Jane Doe, by the way, that's the worst effect in the movie is when they open up her mouth and it's like a CGI no tongue in her mouth. It was like the worst.
I hated the fire, actually.
Okay, well, I guess so, that too. But we find out that she was, they thought she was a witch, so they broke her wrists and her ankles, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then they also force-fed her this parchment that had religious...
Well, it had her tooth in it, but...
There was also like religious stuff that they stuffed into her gut, stuff like that.
Right.
But apparently she wasn't a witch, but this fucking around with her so much made her some sort of supernatural entity that's...
How did they get
like
all those
demonic,
carvings
I guess,
inside her skin?
I don't know. It's a movie about a witch. Who the fuck knows? It's like...
Well, why don't you ask them?
Okay, hold on. Let me go, guys.
I thought maybe like that was... Well, because it looked like it was the same thing that was on the paper that they sort of forced her to consume.
But it was like inside her skin.
But I thought that maybe that was just sort of like an effect of whatever forces had created her as this demonic witch, whatever.
You know what? I'm trying to get behind the science of this,
I don't know,
okay?
Man. I don't know. They tattooed her insides.
There is a scientific
what
explanation behind this.
They stabbed all her insides and shit.
Is this just not a great movie to watch in the dark? Like, seriously, it's like...
I watched it in the dark, and it was... this is the first time I've actually been scared by a movie
Me too.
In a while.
Same here, exactly.
Me too.
Because
like, I don't get scared.
I was watching it at night with the lights out, with my headphones on, which is probably the worst thing to do. Actually, the best thing to do while watching this film, because there's an atmosphere to this film that is like incredibly creepy, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I know why that is, but I don't know why this type of film affects me where other people don't get it right for some reason. Like,
they do a lot of good scenes with darkness and light, like sort of like. I like when you can see almost nothing and yet you're filled with dread because what you can see is just like the barest reflections and things.
Like the whole
yeah.
scene, like
and
I
they
was
didn't do any jump scares really. Well, a little bit, but barely.
Except for like the
under the door scene
whatever
with
was
the
in
bell.
the vent when he gets knocked over at the very beginning.
Yeah, but that's a legitimate jump scare. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it wasn't like stupid jump. I hate jump scares.
It's not doing it just to do it. It's more like this is how you would actually feel in that moment.
The only time there's good jump scares is when it's like an 80s slasher movie and it's silly, not in like a legitimate movie, you know what I'm saying?
You mean like when they open up a door and a guy with shades pops out with a keg and he goes, "Sorry, bro," and then
or you fucking close your mirrored thing and there's
yeah.
somebody in the mirror. Yeah, I hate that shit.
Or like you put on the like at the end of Paranormal Activity, she runs at the camera. Like, oh god.
You got scared at that scene, didn't you?
No,
Oh, you got scared of her standing still.
No.
What
There's
a
a scene
pussy.
where she's rocking in front of the bed, and I wasn't scared of the scene. I was scared hours later, picturing my girlfriend at the time doing it to me as I was sleeping.
Yeah, I just saw that fire scene.
And then
You're
she
right,
did, and you were like, wow.
She probably did, and that's why we're not together anymore.
You're right about that fire scene. That was pretty bad special effects.
Yeah, the fire was the only part I was like, oh, this is stupid.
But there was.
I didn't mind it. I don't know.
I liked it,
CGI
but
fire.
No, because I think there's a part where Brian Cox. He's like, it's an undershot of Brian Cox, and the fire is trying to compete with his hair, so the CGI doesn't
Right.
fuck up. But I like the film either way. It was just great. But there's also like
what was
this.
your favorite scene?
It was the fire.
I love that fire.
Oddly enough, I hated and loved it.
Setting a woman on fire. Oh my god, get me harder. But
Yeah.
there's the scene with the zombie having the bell on its foot. Like it was a total like Signs sequence. You guys ever saw?
That's my favorite.
You saw the scene with. I mean, you remember? You guys ever see Signs with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Remember when he was fighting the Jewish
The
people?
part
I mean,
where
the
he
aliens?
was screaming at the Jews, that was the best part.
But it had that whole thing where
Danny's
he, the scene like Signs when he looks under the door and the alien reaches through. You know,
Yeah.
it sort of had that same effect, but I thought it was done a little bit more. I thought it was.
It's what you can and can't see.
Actually, the scene in Signs is a little bit more frightening, but this one is a little bit more chilling. It's a difference between this being outright scary and chilling, which I think is works better for this type of horror film, and I think works in horror films in general. The less you see, because we've seen so much in other horror films, like the fact that you don't know what's going on is what spooks the shit out of you. I think that's what works here. So we also get a scene where Brian Cox's character Tommy. I have to say Brian Cox's name because I forget his character's name, and for some reason that fixes it.
Tommy.
It's fascinating. Do you hear me? Can you see me?
I hear you. Oh, yeah, you're
Get that,
a pinball ping pong wizard?
No, it's a pinball wizard.
What are
yes. Tommy
Has to be a
scene where
twist.
you? You're some kind of, you're Forrest
There's
Gump.
a scene where Tommy accidentally shoots.
Oh, boy.
Not shoots. Kills Austin's girlfriend with a fire axe. And here's the thing that I saw
He
when I
says
was.
it was an accident. He just didn't want his son to leave him. He knew about
Don't
their
take him
plans.
away.
Here's the thing. Apparently, in IMDb boards, what they were pointing out is that you never see her body again. So it might be a figment of imagination that she actually did not get killed.
That's not true. We do see her body.
Well, and her ghost doesn't really haunt them.
No, but we do see her body again.
But
He runs by it
No, no,
again.
no.
Yeah,
When the
running by
cops
it.
are running in, when the cops are all in the area, her body's not there anymore.
Oh, so...
And
we
I don't think it's time enough that they actually pull the body out. It's like there's no body there.
Right.
And also, Tommy's injuries, like all the blood on his shirt, vanishes when he falls through the stairwell and falls on his head and dies. So all the extra blood and shit that was all over him was not on him as he's dead. So they're trying to say that, on the boards at least, that this was all just sort of weird shit happening to them visually. It's not anything
like
they really...
Oculus
Right.
or
Well,
something.
Like
also,
all-
as soon as they sort of like burned the video camera, I was pretty sure that most of it was going to be in their heads and they wouldn't be able to explain it to the cops, and that was going to be sort of the ending.
And also the corpses were automatically back inside the cold storage. So, I mean, I think if they really wanted to get that... Because it's not clear at all. I mean, you just think that the girlfriend's dead. And they don't
Hard
say...
to tell, yeah.
And I think if it would have been clear if the girlfriend actually showed up after all this happened, but I guess maybe it was just an oversight or something. But I think that could have helped it a little bit more if they wanted to be
Maybe
clear
they
like
wanted
that.
you to think about it. Because, yeah, no, I definitely some of it was hallucinations. Like, the bodies were back in the thing. Like you said, I think that it is like that movie Oculus, actually, where it makes you, like, hallucinate things.
Is that
question everything?
So, were there any negative aspects about this film that you guys did not like?
The fire. That is literally it.
That's it? Thea?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice the fire that much because I wasn't.
You were too engrossed?
That much. Too engrossed. I was
too
freaked
busy
out.
cutting herself and pretending she was the witch.
Did you watch it?
Killing them all.
Thea, did you watch it by yourself or?
I watched it by myself in the dark on the big screen.
And do you think that's like the best way to watch this film, essentially? Well,
I liked it a lot. You gotta watch it in the dark.
I think
sure.
Did you cover your eyes? Like, were you in complete darkness?
I was in complete darkness.
She didn't watch the movie. She just had it on in the same room, and she covered her eyes.
She just looked at a. She just happened to have a poster of Brian Cox on her wall. She's like, "Wow, that's a good movie."
I was like, "Man, he's great."
This is so scary. Wow.
Man, this movie's great. I love him.
My only thing that I felt weird about is that that they figured out the whole witch stuff. I guess they're intelligent guys, but they figured out this witch stuff pretty quickly.
Well, they
but I guess
investigative autopsies.
That's true. I guess it would make sense. But I thought it was like a little.
And they know their history.
All right, fuck you guys then. But
yeah,
fuck
you're wrong.
I thought it was good. So our fact of the day for this episode is guess.
Something about witches?
Emile Hirsch gets 15 days in jail over Paramount exec assault at Sundance. Apparently, Emile Hirsch put a woman in a chokehold at Sundance.
Jesus.
Wow.
I don't know why that
real?
Yeah, I don't know why that makes me laugh. That's
not good.
Here we go. A studio executive.
That's not okay.
A studio executive who authorities say was assaulted by actor Emile Hirsch during the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year described the incident as being insanely painful and absolutely terrifying.
What the fuck?
Could it have been Jane Doe that he was attacking, or he saw? He was still under the.
Oh my god.
Yeah, do you think he was still hallucinating? Did she make him do it?
No, he's just being an idiot.
Danielle Burnfield,
Probably.
an executive for Paramount Pictures subsidiary InSearch Pictures, told police that Hirsch put her in a chokehold from behind, dragged her across a table, and body slammed her to the floor. Investigative documents obtained Thursday through a public records inquest showed. He said that he didn't remember what happened. I'm telling you, it was that witch that did it.
Wow.
This happened in.
That's fucking weird as shit.
This happened in 2015, so I assume it happened before. He
got charged?
Yeah,
he did.
Nuts.
He did about 15 days in jail. I'm sure he paid a lot of money, so maybe he was like drunk or something. But it's nasty.
If I did that, I would go to jail.
So Thea, are you happy?
16 days.
Thea, are you happy that he fell off that stairwell now because he did that to that woman?
Yeah.
Okay, very
Fuck
good.
that guy.
Yeah, what the hell? That's nuts.
That's fucking crazy. I didn't know that.
What the fuck?
That's shitty.
He had
That's shitty. That is shitty.
I just love that we have a great movie with a great actor in it, and then as soon as I explained that to you, I was like, fuck this
fucking
guy.
Burst the bubble. God damn it.
He literally only
That's
went
what
to jail
I did.
for 15 days, though. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's pretty
bullshit.
bad. He should have done a lot more. He should have done 15 and a half hours.
Well.
Anyway.
Yeah, he should have been there at least 10 days.
He should have to watch Speed Racer over and over. So, although I heard that's
I think I've said "oh boy" about 10 times so far.
So, Thea, what rating would you give this film?
Well, now I don't know.
I know, I was about to say.
No, you can't base it on that. You got to base it on that.
Okay.
It's like, do you support what would you give us Woody Allen movie? You know, Danny, he loves Woody. Allen.
Okay, fuck it. I am not gonna watch a Woody Allen movie, so I can fuck right.
So, Thea, what did you think of the autopsy of beating a Paramount exec's ass, Jane Doe?
All right. All right.
Divorce it from that. What do you think about this movie? What's your rating?
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Fucking bells on a corpse chasing you down the hall very slowly.
Danny, what rating would you give this film?
I agree. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Axing your son's girlfriend in the face.
Damn it!
No, I'm stealing it. Pretending that you think it's a zombie, so that way you could stop him from leaving you alone.
I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Taking your beloved cat, who's been mauled by something, and throwing it into a crematorium, and suddenly everything smells like General Tso's chicken.
Boy.
You know what would be funny? If they threw the cat into the crematorium, and then you see it's actually the girlfriend in the crematorium, and she's behind there on fire, like, no!
I thought they were gonna do an autopsy on the cat and see what killed it.
imagine it was a rat that killed it.
You know, it would be funny if they threw the cat in the fire and they say that's some hot pussy. So,
that's what I thought you were gonna say, but then you did.
I don't
glad
go
I
there.
did. I lived up to it. So, Thea,
Yeah.
what's the final word?
Hirsch.
Danny, what's the final word?
Herschel.
Ugh.
The horror deconstruction.